Good evening. A reminder, cell phones off, silent, and away. It is my great pleasure to welcome you to this ceremony to induct members of the class of 2022 to the Millbrook School chapter of the Cum Laude Society. This is indeed a proud and celebratory moment for these scholars, for their parents and teachers, and for the school. Founded in 1906, the Cum Laude Society stands for scholastic achievement of the highest order. In keeping with our motto and mission, Millbrook students elected to cum laude must achieve the uppermost levels of academic success while enhancing the experience for their peers. Simply put, they must live non sibi sed cunctus in the classroom. Abby Ainley, Adam Beck, Charlotte Davis, James Dang, Nathan Denham, Josie Duggan, Precious Esliam, Freddie Hamilton, Tracy Huh, Evelyn Najork, Stephen Peschel, Tom Powell, Caitlin Rodeo, Allie Rosenweg, Jalen Thatcher, and Julia Zangri. The distinguished record you have achieved at Millbrook has won you membership in the Cum Laude Society. This is a fellowship of scholars whose purpose is to recognize excellence in academic work. As you pursue your college education and possible graduate studies, it is our hope that you will accept the honor of membership in Cum Laude as a responsibility to make your contribution to the ongoing search for civility, humanity, and truth. To begin the individual inductions, I will now invite your advisor to speak on your behalf and present you with your cum laude certificate and pin, and for you to sign the log of all of Millbrook School's cum laude members. Mr. Skoglund.
Abby. Good evening. I must say that I'm not the least bit surprised to be up here today to honor Abby's induction into the Cum Laude Society. In fact, I could have confidently predicted this outcome in the fall of 2019 when Abby began her Millbrook career, as she quickly exhibited a work ethic and ambition that I came to admire. Her standard at times is so high that I, as her advisor, need to remind her to slow down, take a deep breath, and lighten her workload. It's a good place to be as an advisor at Millbrook School. She exhibits everything the Millbrook student strives for. Her work ethic, as I mentioned, but more importantly, as a person. When a young person combines a thirst to be great with resiliency and accountability, then success will soon follow. Abby personifies this approach. It has suited her well at Millbrook, and it will suit her well in life. Clearly, Abby possesses intellectual firepower, or else she would not be up here. This is evident in her record. She achieved high honor roll every single marking term at Millbrook School, every single one, while carrying a challenging workload herself with mostly honors and AP courses. I can list them all, but that would be a waste of time. As the legendary football coach Bill Parcells once said, "You are what your record says you are. You are what your record says you are." Well, Abby's record speaks for itself. However, what is most impressive to me and her teachers is not her intellectual capability, but it is her effort day in and day out in the classroom, day in and day out. Simply put, she is a machine when a task is at hand and something needs to be accomplished. Just consider it done. Most importantly, though, and what she probably doesn't realize quite yet, is that her constant pursuit of excellence and thus her high standards have made our Millbrook School culture much stronger. So for that, Abby, thank you. And congratulations on Cum Laude. Picture? Oh. Mr. Cross.
My name is Jake Philbin Cross, and Adam Beck is my advisor. During my 3 years in his advisory, he's given me great advice, helped guide me through the depths of the pandemic, and pushed me to be the best teacher I can be. More than anything, his many accomplishments in those 3 years were an inspiration for me as I navigated life at Millbrook. He was a peer counselor in his junior year and is a dorm leader this year. He transformed the viewing experience of anyone who watches our athletics live streams with his professional, engaging commentary. He even started a football-focused YouTube channel, ACB Sports, which now has over 3,000 subscribers, and you should subscribe if you haven't already. All the while, Adam took on Millbrook's hardest classes and set new standards for excellence in all of them. From his very first day at the school, his teachers crowed about his ability and intellectual curiosity. One memory that stands out occurred during Adam's first year at Millbrook when Mr. Fewer brought one of his papers back to the English department. It displayed a depth of reasoning that we expect to see in AP English, and yet Adam was a sophomore. The paper was so strong that Mr. Zeisser, a longtime member of the English department, had to ask if Adam actually wrote it. How wrong he was. This was early on in our time with Adam, and we had not yet learned to expect excellence and integrity from him at every turn. It is that integrity and humility that makes Adam such a generous learner. Even in his first year, Adam was an informal tutor in Case Hall to students 3 years older than him. As a dorm parent that year, I often walked by his room to see 3 or 4 boys asking him questions at the same time. Adam continued this work as a student tutor as a junior and senior and remains a resource for all of his classmates. I want to end by channeling Adam's French teacher for all 3 years at Millbrook, Mr. Westman. He's written a few notes to me about Adam that end with one simple phrase: Adam Beck for president. He's got my vote, and I'm incredibly proud of all that he has accomplished. Good luck, Adam. All of the Millbrook will miss your presence when you inevitably move into the White House. Next up, we have Ms. Whitehouse.
Ready? All right. Standing on the stage and being inducted to Cum Laude did not come easily for Charlotte. When you see her in class or on the bricks, you may see a calm, cool, and collected intellectual. And Char is absolutely those things. But she is also almost always a fighter. She battled her way to this culminating academic moment with poise. She has always been a dutiful student, dotting her I's and crossing her T's. A missing assignment was rare, if ever present. But there were bungled tests along the way, some missed analyses on papers, misinterpretations of labs. And so underformers, take note here. What did Charlotte do? She picked herself up. She made a game plan, with or without me. She made extra help her #1 priority and most powerful tool. She took feedback willingly and engaged with teachers at every turn. And driven by her curiosity and discipline, she became a talented question asker in all of her classes. She also found her 2 greatest passions and talents, her love of animals and penchant for drawing and painting, and converged them into a beautiful marriage of science and art over the course of her 4 years at Millbrook. Charlotte's stick-to-itiveness allowed her natural talents to shine and really culminate in this moment. Let that be a lesson to us all as Charlotte accepts this Cum Laude award. I couldn't be prouder. Mr. Coughlin.
James, well, I think it's only fitting that I am here to speak about you on the occasion of your induction into the Cum Laude Society, considering that you owe this distinction to my constant vigilance and expert guidance. You're all laughing because, of course, you know that that last statement is not true. James, from the start of your third form year, you made it clear that your preferred relationship with me was don't call me, I'll call you. A situation that terrified me as a first-time advisor of a new student at a new school. I knew it could mean only one of two things. Either you were getting away with murder and not telling me, or you were unusually self-sufficient, willing to manage your own destiny, ready to take advantage of your successes, and to learn from your failures. And I quickly learned that it was the latter. And by the end of your first year, I no longer was concerned by the fact that you didn't seem to need me very much. This has been a wild ride these last 4 years. You survived the challenges and setbacks that neither of us could have imagined when we started our journey together at Millbrook in the fall of 2019. When COVID closed down the option of in-person school, you refused to fall prey to grief or boredom. Instead, you used the break from school to double down on your academic progress, taking additional classes to position yourself for success the following year. You set your sights high, working with purpose and focus, and never allowing yourself to be distracted from your goals. You took the most advanced classes, even when you knew it would mean more work and possibly lower grades. But here you are, you persevered and you triumphed. James, as much as I'd like to take credit for your success, I was only a witness on your journey. You did this. You achieved this honor through your hard work, dedication, and diligence. I'm very proud of you. And I can't wait to hear about what you will achieve in the next stage of your journey. Congratulations. Mr. Livesey.
I do not have the honor of being Nate's advisor. That is Mr. Stewart, who couldn't be here tonight, and I will speak his words shortly. But I just want to say how lucky I feel to have worked with Nate over the past 2 years. Nate is generous in every way, and the list of people who have benefited from that generosity is quite long. I'm just grateful to include my own name on that list. Now, Mr. Stewart's words. The Millbrook School was fortunate when Nathan came to join us last year. From day one, Nathan has been an academic powerhouse and challenged himself with a rigorous course load. His comments from his teachers illuminate that he's been a role model student in the classroom. They describe him as a responsible student who's prepared every day, someone who relishes in the rigor of our course, and quite simply, pleasure to teach. Nate does not seek out fanfare, but goodness is he deserving of it. When you first meet him, he can be mistaken as quiet, but the more you observe, you realize he's an astute listener, and when he speaks, everyone in the room benefits from his nuanced and thoughtful responses. While I, Mr. Stewart, am super impressed with Nathan and his academic achievements, I'm even more impressed with his generosity of time and energy outside the classroom. I'll never forget the day that I, Mr. Stewart, subbed for Mr. Raciti's programming class, where Nate and Joel took ownership of their environment and successfully taught the group. In Farmhouse, Nathan's academic generosity oozes out of the space as he sought after homework helper with the Farmhouse residents. We often say that the last step to mastery is being able to teach something to someone else. Nathan has taken advantage of opportunities for mastery both inside and out of the classroom. Nathan, I, Mr. Stewart, feel lucky to have had the opportunity to work with you during your time at Millbrook. I look forward to seeing your continued success at the next level. Congratulations on your induction into the Cum Laude Society. Next up, Ms. Howard.
Hi, Josie. If Josie Duggan weren't so unfailingly kind and generous, I would find her competence completely intimidating. Seriously, Josie pays attention to everything, every detail in her reading, every nuanced word choice in her writing, in English and in Spanish, every expectation, and every deadline. I don't think that she has asked for an extension all year long. With the calm grace that is one of her trademarks, Josie simply prioritizes and gets it done. And you might thereby think that academics have come easily to her. You'd think wrong. Josie has dug in. She's earned her strong grades and 2 efforts in AP Stats and Advanced Bio, for example, not because those classes are in her comfort zone, but precisely because they're not. As a champion rider, Josie knows that being intentional about pushing your boundaries is how you get better. And she's come to experience the joy in that process, both as a rider and as a scholar. Lest I run the risk of describing a driven academic machine, the other thing I want you to know about Josie is how committed she is to making the experience of learning better for other people. One of the most used words in her academic comments, collaborative. Second most, joyful. Whether she is spending all of study hall with a young writer in the Writing Center, patiently helping them find the clear idea amidst the chaos, or she is deep into group work in anthropology or English, Josie brings genuine respect for the ideas of everyone that she's working with. In class, whatever group Josie's in is often the one laughing the most and also the one accomplishing the most. That's no accident, that's intentional. Josie, I'm so proud of you. Congratulations on all of your joyful ambition, your hard work, and your induction into Cum Laude. Caitlin is a wonder. The grace with which she danced across this stage as Sophie in Mamma Mia this winter belies the grit in her core. In most academic comments that I've received about Caitlin in the 3 years I've been her advisor, teachers mention that she is a fixture at Extra Help. They are impressed, they say, by her ability to seek feedback and apply it. They're right. I've watched how intently Caitlin listens and how she becomes a stronger thinker, writer, and test taker through the feedback she receives. But we have 4 extra helps. Caitlin takes 7 classes. She took 7 classes last year. I have sometimes looked for a Hermione Granger-style time turner around her neck, because how else is she getting to all those extra helps? What I've learned about Caitlin, however, is that she finds a way. Caitlin's been super intentional about those 7 courses. She respects the liberal arts deeply, continuing her French study all 4 years and grappling with classic literature in AP English. But Caitlin has essentially majored in science, advanced bio, advanced chem, independent science research, where she's pushed herself to excel. And she's minored in music, honors music theory, songwriting and composition, and Millbrook singers. The result? Well, by the numbers, straight A's. But beyond that, the breadth and depth of Caitlin's pursuits speaks to your exceptional range of interests, talent, work ethic, and vision for your future. And here's what else you need to know. And if you've spent time with Caitlin, you already do know it. With all that she has on her plate, she always makes time for others. Caitlin notices when we're down. She asks how we are with genuine interest, and she seeks to be a resource if she can. Whether at the Writing Center or in the dorm, Helping others fills her up for the work ahead. As I said, she's a wonder. Congratulations, Caitlin, on your induction into Cum Laude. Next up is Mrs. Keller Coffey.
Shakespeare wrote that a rose by any other name would smell as sweet, implying that the name and the object or person exist independently, but I disagree. I think we often embody the qualities of our names in our very being, and that the parents who named us must have sensed our true essence as they made that choice. My proof of that theory is my advisee, Precious. Precious, the word means something along the lines of highly valued, esteemed, or cherished. And that seems the perfect name for our Precious. She is highly valued by her teachers for her relentless grit, her willingness to push herself, and her persistent drive to dig deep in her courses, doubling up on math and science in the last 2 years so that she could take almost every course we offered in those fields. And Precious is not content to simply earn high grades. Everyone who has taught Precious has seen her tenacity as she puts in extra time and effort to truly master the material. They have also seen her eyes light up when she makes a connection across disciplines or when she navigates a tricky problem. Precious is esteemed by her peers for being a patient and focused tutor, a warm and empathetic HumDev facilitator, and a motivated and dedicated DEI leader. And Precious is cherished by all of us for her efforts to help us think beyond the confines of our campus, in her powerful moving poems, in her work helping launch Break the Bubble in its first year, and in her comprehensive and thought-provoking ISR project on the psychological challenges of being a racial minority at Millbrook School. Precious, thank you for using what you have learned and what you will learn in the future to leave Millbrook and the world better than you found it. You inspire all of us to work harder, to think of others, and to strive to be our best selves. Congratulations on your well-deserved induction into the Cum Laude Society.
Freddie, how we doing? Good catch. In his 4-year career at Millbrook, Freddie Hamilton has excelled in almost every single aspect of this community. And while Freddie is a talented young man, he stands here tonight not because he is the most talented. He stands here tonight and will be inducted into Cum Laude Society because he has proven to be one of the most competitive, one of the most tenacious, and one of the most resilient students in the 6th form class. Freddie is a worker. In our 4-year relationship as advisor and advisee, there is usually a moment each year when Freddie tells me that one of his classes may be too challenging. At first, in his 3rd and 4th form years, I would actually listen to what Freddie had to say. But now I just sort of nod my head and let him talk it out. And I've come to realize that when Freddie is challenged, he is at his absolute best. In fact, I would say he thrives under this adversity. He thrives because he knows how to work. He knows that the path forward is to work hard, to ask questions, and to take intellectual risks. Freddie is also a leader in the classroom. When a risk needs to be taken, Freddie will dive in head first and bring the rest of the class with him. He does not let his own personal ego get in the way of his learning and has never been afraid to put himself out there within the classroom. Lastly, Freddie loves school and has a real passion to grow and to learn. More specifically, though, he loves this school, his school. In his time at Millbrook, Freddie has given a part of himself to this community and has grown into a true leader in all areas of this campus. Freddie, We are so proud of the student that you've grown into, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to the Cum Laude Society. Well done. Next up, Mrs. Depew.
Thank you. Tracy, I feel that your induction to the Cum Laude Society has been inevitable since I first read your application material to Millbrook. Your grades were impeccable. Your former teachers spoke of your drive, caring, and perfectionism. In your essay, you spoke of your love of science and animals. Tracy, it's good to see that even though you've changed in many ways over the last 4 years, your original passions have only grown and developed. Over the last 4 years, you've worked hard in every class to gain a strong grasp of subject matter. When you have a result on assignment or assessment that doesn't meet your high standards, before it simmers, you're already addressing and correcting the material with your teachers. Most impressively has been your independent trap, neuter, return project for stray cats that you accomplished while at home in Shenzhen last year. You recognized an issue in your community and were driven to alleviate the problems caused by the overpopulation of cats. The science on this project and the paper that came from it alone was impressive. What resonates most with me is your compassion to give back and the way that you overcame obstacles to make the project a success, including having to change the minds of some of your community. You engineered catnip on E. coli to lure free-roaming cats into traps in the community. Then you worked with a veterinarian to treat the cats for ailments, spay, neuter the cats, and then return them to their niche in the community. They were healthier cats for the process. I hope you continue your journey of care and compassion for the natural world, and I know that you will find success staying true to your process. Tracy, your diligence and persistence has paid off. Congratulations on your induction to the Cum Laude Society. Mr. Westman.
All right. I am Mr. Stewart, number 2 for the evening. Before I read his words, I wanted to share that while I'm not Evelyn's advisor, I've had the absolute privilege of working with her on the volleyball court for the past 4 years and the basketball court for 1. Having seen her operate in these spaces, I'm not surprised that she's up here on stage tonight. Now, Mr. Stewart's thoughts. Academically, Evelyn is a total rock star. Hitting it out of the park, consistently fantastic, academic powerhouse, and all caps impressive are just a few of the ways that her teachers describe her presence in class. For the last 4 years, Evelyn has been prepared and at the top of her class every class. This level of achievement is rooted in her curiosity, work ethic, and intellectual firepower. While Evelyn has repeatedly displayed the highest level of success in academics, perhaps more impressive is her unrelenting desire to leave our community better than she found it. I've yet to confirm this, but academically generous, hyphenated, not Susan, might be her middle name. Trisha and Eric, can we confirm that? I will let Mr. Stewart know that joke did not land. We'll blame the delivery. Evelyn seizes every opportunity to show her mastery of a subject by helping her peers in the classroom, raising the level of her classmates and consequently herself. Not only does Evelyn understand the value of intellectualism, but she also has a mature sense of the importance of physical, social, and emotional health. Look no further than her accomplishments in helping to reform the human development curriculum as a 4th former, championing the menstrual movement on campus, working tirelessly as a tutor, serving as a dorm leader, HumDev facilitator, prefect. Evelyn truly lives our motto, not for oneself, but for all. Evelyn, you've earned this prestigious academic achievement through your hard work, dedication, and commitment to your community. Congratulations on your induction to the Cum Laude Society. We, Mr. Stewart, and I could not be prouder of you. Now, Dr. Lacoste.
There is a principle in the field of quantum mechanics known as the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, which states that we are limited in the precision of simultaneously knowing the position and momentum of an object. Stephen's time at Millbrook has provided further proof that this principle is true. Stephen is found all over campus, either at the zoo as a head curator, or at the theater singing with his amazingly deep voice, or in the physics laboratory solving a complicated problem on the board and taking a picture of it when he's finished as proof of his conquest. He has also been spotted giving medical lectures to the faculty in his dorm. Or he is studying Russian wherever he may be. He is also generous with his talents, tutoring others in whatever the subject may be. Honestly, I cannot keep track of his whereabouts, except for now. With Stephen pursuing his interests all over campus, his position at a given time is highly imprecise. He is physically all over the place because Stephen has interests that span the complete spectrum of human knowledge. Whatever he focuses his attention on turns to success. I have become used to the idea that each time I speak with Stephen, I have no idea what he's going to want to talk about. It could be something I understand and know something about, or it is more likely something I do not. I then prepare myself to learn something from him. However, he is talented at bringing me up to speed if I do not know what he is talking about, if I know what he's talking about. Stephen's broad interests and talents have led him to make high honor roll for 6 straight semesters by embracing the challenges provided in all subject areas. However, the Heisenberg principle states if his position is not very well known, as Stephen has demonstrated, his momentum will be known precisely. His momentum clearly is pointing in one direction, towards greater learning and success. Not only does his momentum have a clear direction, but it is also strong and will thus carry him far wherever he goes. Even though we will not be sure where his precise location will be at a given time in the future, we can rest assured that with confidence, he will always be moving towards excellence. Welcome to the Cum Laude Society, Stephen. Congratulations. During the 2018 Atlantic hurricane season, a unique type of hurricane arrived at Millbrook. This initially disorganized Category 1 storm created areas in or near the physics lab that were messy and at first frustrating since they did not clean themselves up. It became apparent that this hurricane, initially known as Hurricane Tom, was behind starting numerous projects but not finishing them. As time went on, however, the storm grew in strength and the lab became more organized, productive, and powerful. It became an engineering and fabrication laboratory. Tom started providing status reports to the lab and lists of things that needed to be obtained. He also wrote a proposal for building a subatomic particle accelerator, along with proposals for improving study hall and other student life topics. It became clear that what we have been experiencing is a growing storm of continuous learning and sometimes questionable experimentation. This storm has moved all over campus. In the theater, Tom became a key element of the technical aspects of operation of the theater, at first trying to do everything himself, but began to delegate and teach others. Tom likes to do maintenance or offer to make improvements wherever needed on campus for better or worse. Tom also leads in the rocketry program, showing the newer students in rocketry how to build their own rocket and making parts for all the Millbrook teams. He also leads a study group for advanced physics in Schoolhouse. Tom also assists maintaining the chemistry and physics laboratories. Now this storm has matured, which could be classified as a Category 6 if that even existed. This storm has positively affected other students who have positioned themselves to take his place in the lab next year. This storm has culminated in Tom's independent science research project. It is an impressive project that senior undergraduate students in electrical engineering would balk at taking on. Tom is also writing 2 patent applications in his spare time. 3?
Yeah.
3, sorry. This phenomenon can be thought of as a self-contained mobile academic institution. This hurricane is the only one known in history to leave things better than it found it. The National Hurricane Center is advised to call this storm the Powell Institute of Technology. Welcome to the Cum Laude Society, Hurricane Tom. Next is Mrs. Fryman.
A quiet leader is powerful, confident, and focused on actions rather than words. A quiet leader excites, encourages, and supports others. Although she may seem quiet, Allie is fierce. When I look at Allie, I see strength, confidence, passion, and poise. Allie's desire and determination to commit her high school years to service and academics is truly commendable. She has dedicated many late nights and early mornings to multiple causes that she feels so strongly about, all while maintaining a rigorous academic schedule. Over the last 2 years of course signups, I kept asking her, "Are you sure you want to do that? Really? Are you sure?" And she kept saying yes, and she guaranteed me that she could handle it and excel. Between varsity sports, management, multiple community services, and a rigorous academic schedule, Allie has explored all the opportunities that Millbrook has to offer and many more. I'm so beyond proud of you, and most importantly, I hope you're proud of yourself. So tonight, we honor you with Millbrook's most outstanding academic achievement, the Cum Laude Society. The one that many strive for, yet few are selected. Allie, I know how hard you've been working over the years, and it's been an honor and a privilege to be your advisor. I hope you always stay curious, passionate, and fierce. Well done, Allie. Next up, Mrs. Vollmer.
On more than one occasion, Jalen Thatcher has been described to me as the student who talks the least but says the most. I can't think of a better way to describe him. But don't let those words fool you. Jalen may be introverted at times, but he has also been called confident, powerful, dynamic, influential, and fiercely loyal. To those superlatives, I would add strong. Physically strong, yes, but also mentally. Throughout his 4 years at Millbrook, Jalen has powered through some very difficult situations, and he has never given up. Jalen has always known that you don't need a title to be a leader, and he has quietly led in the classroom, in student life, and in athletics since day one. As a result, today he holds 3 coveted leadership roles: dorm leader, HumDev facilitator, and team captain. You have likely seen him thriving in any one of these roles. But what you may not see, or what you may not know, is that Jalen is an absolute powerhouse academically. In his rigorous courses, Jalen has set his sights high and has earned top grades across the board. As you can imagine, in my role, I've seen a ton of transcripts over the years, and his is truly remarkable. And yet he makes it look so effortless. He is sneaky good at all things related to school. I don't know how he does it. Jalen, you have always been the type of student teachers want in their classrooms, the type of person we want within our walls here at Millbrook, and the type of human being I hope my own children will aspire to be. Quietly and in your own way, you have made an impact on our community that will last for years to come. Congratulations. And last, we have Miss Mckenzie.
For those of you who know Julia well, you'll know these 4 things about her. Number 1, she didn't earn the nickname Angry Zangry because she's an angry person. In fact, she's quite the opposite. Number 2, she's incredibly competitive, holding herself and others to the highest of standards. Number 3, she's mature in ways she may not yet recognize. I've simply lost count of the number of times we've all turned to Julia for input and advice, myself included. And number 4, she will always think that she is failing all of her classes, despite having perfect attendance and earning a spot on the honor roll or a high honor roll every semester during her time at Millbrook. At this point, comments from her like this don't necessarily surprise me, because in Julia's world, anything short of her absolute best is unacceptable. When you put these qualities and traits together, you're left with a top-notch, gritty student who leaves her peers and teachers in awe of her academic intensity. Julia's commitment to putting in the extra time and work to fully understand the subject matter, combined with her genuine academic curiosity and ability to self-advocate, epitomizes what it means to be a master student. Now, while I've only officially served as Julia's advisor this year, I can tell you that during our time together, I consistently find myself amazed by the young woman standing before you all. Whether she's in the classroom as a student or hum-dev facilitator, on the field or ice as an athlete and captain, or in the dorm as a dorm leader, all-school prefect, and friend, Julia always strives to achieve more, bettering herself and those around her. For all of this, Julia, and more, you are so deserving of your induction into the Cum Laude Society. I am incredibly proud of you. Congratulations.
Took some notes. A wonder, a worker, a weapon, a machine, a hurricane, a record, a teacher, a gift, a president, a rock star, a precious, a Heisenberg principle, a role model. Thank you, advisors, for your proud, knowledgeable, and loving words, which are richly deserved by your advisees. Thank you to Ms. Clark, the Secretary of Millbrook's Cum Laude Society, for guiding us through the rigorous selection process. Thank you to Ms. Dalton for creating this beautiful evening. And also thank you to the Cum Laude inductees and the Cum Laude committee.